Hi, Agile India team. I'm Rahul, and in this video I would like to talk about the topics which I want to cover in my session: servant leadership and art beyond certifications. So I believe certifications are good in terms of getting knowledge of theory, which is like incredibly important. Uh, but then I believe servant leadership it's beyond any certification. It's about soft skills. It's about learning from people, like how people solve complex problems through various techniques what people have identified during their journey. So, and that's the reason whatever I've learned from different people. I mean, from their experiences or from my experiences. So one thing, so first thing is what we could learn from doctors. So I have few doctors in my family, and what I have learned and what I have heard from them is a good doctor never says that no, that doctor is bad, that doctor is bad, or I mean that doctor gave you wrong medicines. A good doctor always says that okay, I mean that doctor gave you medicines as per his or her diagnostics. So and then I'll give you as on the basis of my observations or my diagnostics. So but what happens is in big organizations when there are a lot of scrum masters, a lot of agile coaches, then what starts happening is we try to say that okay, I mean what I am teaching is right, and whatever I mean was taught by the other scrum master or agile coach or your previous leader, that was wrong. Which is not right, because people take decisions on the basis of the current state. That okay, I mean, so we always should believe that we should not comment on the decisions or teaching gave by other people. So it's like okay, I mean, we what we believe into, we teach people according to that. Problem solving through role playing. It's a very good technique. For example, uh, when your daily stand-ups people are coming late and you want to highlight in front of people. So rather, one day what you do, prior to you do that, speak to one of your team member and ask him that tomorrow I'm going to come late, please highlight it. So that why you are late. So basically now in this case you are taking things on yourself, so there's less risk that people will take things personal. So next day you come late, one of the team members with whom you already spoke to, he will highlight that I mean Rahul, why you are late, and you didn't even notify the team on the group chat, so it's not acceptable. And then you say that oh yeah, it's a wrong behavior, I apologize for it. Another thing, people are using mobile phones, which is very common everywhere. So do the same thing and ask someone that when you do it, people highlight that. And so as soon as you do it, someone highlight in your session, and then you're like, oh yeah, sorry, it's not acceptable. It's my bad. Sorry, I won't do it. So this will show that I mean, if the same rules are applicable for you, then other people should also abide. And generally, when people see other people doing right things, they get influenced easily. So rather than you saying or you asking them that I mean you should be on time, you should notify a team, you should not use mobile phone. So rather than that, I mean role play. So you being the culprit, and then someone else highlighting this problem in front of everyone, and then you're apologizing for that. So and it has worked for me previously. So I mean people can try these kind of things. So I'll take more examples that when in what scenarios people can use role playing. Third thing is a tried and tested better way of impediment resolution. In various forums, I've heard people ask that, okay, I mean, as a Scrum Master, uh, I mean, my duty is to resolve all the impediments. But then people come and ask that, okay, I mean, my PC is not working now. This is an impediment for me. Please solve it. People come and ask, okay, I mean, sometimes it happens. You are my scrum master. Okay, this AC is not working. Please solve it. So I think what happens is, in order, when we solve doing these things as a leader of the team, then we might create a dependency. So, and remember, if we want to be a good servant leader, our job is to create a legacy rather than creating a dependency, or rather than creating an empire so that team is dependent on me on everything. So what we do is, so first time whenever there is a problem, first time when a person come, we solve that problem. Okay, we solve that impediment and show that how to solve it. Okay, for example, there was a, I mean, database error, and we don't know how we are getting it. There's some other team which has some impact on this database, so please solve it. So what you do is, you take one person from the team, go to that person or go to that team who has dependency, or on the team which our team is dependent, and solve that problem in front of people, and show your team that how it was done. So first time do it, whether it is, I mean, sweeping the floor, but then show it that how it is being done, so that next time people should be, I mean, well equipped in themselves to solve these problems. So I think it's good, and it's that you identify that how that particular impediment needs to be resolved, and once you know it, you share that knowledge with the team. So next time people should not ask you, because now everyone is aware of it, and one day, maybe after 6 months or maybe after 1 year, when the same kind of problem comes, then I mean, more of your team is aware about it, that okay, I mean, how this problem is resolved. Otherwise it should not happen that after 6 months as well, people are coming that no, I mean, our scrum master resolved it, so he is aware of it. Because remember, our aim is to create legacy, not to create an empire so that people are dependent on us. So because I mean, we know that our job should be to make our role redundant after maybe 6 months or after 1 year, if it is possible. So what happens is, whenever there is any conflict, we think about ourselves. That okay, I mean, because I am feeling like this, and that's why I'm, because I'm not happy about it, and it starts with me. Okay, and then later we think about our team, that whether it is benefiting team, if it is good for team, if it's bad for team, if it's creating, I mean, or it's killing our environment. I mean, we sometimes we think about it, sometimes we don't. Then third thing, I've never seen people thinking about organization in terms of the conflicts, whether these conflicts are helping our organization first or not. Lastly, uh, our end user. So whatever product we are creating, okay, as a team, and when if there is any conflict, okay, for sure it will impact our delivery, or what we are making, okay, whatever it is. But we never think of the end user, that this conflict is actually not helping our end user. So how about, if in these kind of situations, whenever there is a conflict, how about we think about customer first? So for example, if you and me are having a conflict on anything, okay, how about, let's think about the end user. Okay, is this conflict helping end user? No. So let's decide what will be better for our end user. Okay, and I mean, take decision on that basis, rather than how you are feeling or I'm feeling. So then, if it is benefiting customers, perfect. Now let's think about our organization. Is it helping our organization? Yes, no. Okay, okay. Now come to our team. Is this helping our team? Yes, no. And then if there is something left, then think about ourselves. And what we do in terms of whenever there are any conflicts, we apply this model in the reverse order. So we think about ourselves first. We might think about team sometimes. We never think about organization, our organization, and forget about, I mean, end user. We never think about our end user whenever we have any kind of conflict. Next thing, what we can contribute towards a greater community and how. So I believe there are two big advantages in getting involved in bigger community, not just your organization. Because one thing is whatever we learn when we share it, we learn more. So and agility is also beyond any organization. So it's a movement basically. So whether your organization is on that movement or not, but you should be on this movement of learning. So there are various techniques of doing various things, and it's nothing is silver bullet that this if this worked in any situation in this team or in this organization, then the same thing will work uh, for some other team as well, because it's like medicine. I mean, different people, different medicine works. So so that's why it's very important that if you are in any kind of servant leadership role, please be involved with the greater community. In my experience of last 7 8 years, whatever I have learned from conferences, I've learned from meetups, I've learned from lean coffees, and and that's what I applied in my teams, and I mean it worked for me. So there's nothing which I discovered, or maybe I can say I discovered that people have immense knowledge, and if you can get knowledge from people, and if you only apply other people experience, then also you're sorted. So that's why it's very important that you contribute to the greater community, share your learnings. And so that is also, it's not, so servant leadership is not about just a servant leader to other people. You are servant leader for to yourself as well, because I mean if you are sharing knowledge, then again you are serving community, bigger community, as well as you're serving yourself, because there you are interacting with more people. And now there, if you discuss a problem, okay, you might be aware of two possible solutions of the same problem, and then if you're discussing with five people, you might get five more ways of solving the same problem. And then if you are working for different teams or different organization, I mean if one technique doesn't work, you can anytime apply the second technique, or I mean any technique out of what you learn from different people. So that's why it's key, if you are in any servant leadership role, or if you are passionate about it, then be involved in greater community, not just your team, not just your organization. How to lead by example, and how to manage failures. I think that's also very important to know as a servant leader. So I think this is from experience of a scientist of ISRO, and in I think in 1973 when he became the project director of Indian's satellite launch vehicle program, which is commonly known as ISLV, and it was ISLV 3. So their goal was to put India's Rohini satellite into orbit by 1980. So he was given funds and people, and was clearly told that in by 1980, I mean, they had to launch the satellite into space. Thousands of people worked together in scientific and technical teams towards their goal. By 1979 August, they thought they were ready, and this scientist, he was project director of this whole project. At 4 minutes before satellite launch, the computer began to go through the checklist of items, and that needed to be checked. And that's where they realized that there is some problem. Okay. And then the computer put that launch on hold. And this scientist, he had his own team with him, and they said that okay, I mean, no, everything is fine. So I mean, we can ignore this error, and let's launch it. Okay. they decided as a team and they launched the satellite. I think after a few minutes, instead of going into the orbit, it went directly into the Bay of Bengal. It was a big failure. And so that day, so chairman of ISRO, which was Dr. Dhawan, Dr. Satish Dhawan. So he took the press conference from Sriharikota, which is in Andhra Pradesh, and he said that the team had worked very hard, but I mean that it needed more technological support. So we'll make a comeback next year, and we are sure that the team would definitely succeed. So he took that press conference. He assured that media in another year the team will do it. Now he was the project. I mean, now this scientist was the project director, not the Satish Dhawan. But Satish Dhawan was the head of the whole ISRO, and he took the responsibility as a leader. Okay. And then next year in 1980, they tried again to launch the satellite, and this time their team succeeded. And what I mean, the whole nation was jubilant. And I mean, then again there was a press conference, and now see what Mr. Satish Dhawan, what he did. He asked this scientist to take the press conference. I mean, and he said that you conduct the press conference today. So now the important message is, so whenever there is a failure, the leader of the organization owned that failure. And when there was a success, he gave it to the team. So I think this is the best management lesson, or I mean, best leadership lesson we can get from this person. And by the way, this person was none other than Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So we all, as a servant leader, we all must carry this kind of behavior, so that I mean we do what we say, and whenever there is a success, we give it to the team, and for sure, I mean, team will recognize it, team will remember it for their life. Then that how their leader behaved when there was a success and there was a failure, and they will display the same kind of behavior wherever they become leader. So that's why it's important that how we are creating the legacy of good servant leadership, rather than just creating one small empire. Thanks.